Hi, today we're going to be doing the problem string called multiplying whole numbers. It's from Unit 2, Module 2 in Benchmark for 5th grade. The first equation today is going to be 1/2 of 24. Okay, and that's the same thing as writing 1/2 times 24. Same thing. So our problem string is a little bit different today because I'm going to be using tiles, so I'm going to take out the paper back and forth and show you what I'm doing with the tiles as we go. So 1/2 of 24, so I'm going to start with my 24 tiles, and 1/2, as you can see on the fraction, is the same thing as saying I want to split it into 2 parts because 2 is the denominator, so I want to split it into 2 parts. So here I have 24, and I can do it a couple different ways. I can do it like this and split it in 2 parts, okay? Or I can do it like this and split it into 2 parts. Now I still have 1/2 of 24, which here is 1/2 and here is my other 1/2. So I have 2 parts still equaling 24. I have 12 here and 12 here. Okay, so 1/2 of 24 I can now say is 12 because I have one thing of 12 and another thing of 12 tiles. And I'd prefer if you actually drew out the tiles. I'm just going to move along and write 12 in the boxes to show that there were 12 tiles. I'll write tiles. 12 tiles in each group. But I'd like you to pause the video and actually draw the tiles in yours. Okay, the next problem I'm going to write is 1/3 of 24, which is the same thing as saying 1/3 times 24. Same thing. Okay, so I now start with my 24 again. I'm going to put them back together. And here I have 24 in one whole unit, but I need 1/3 of that. So I'm going to have to split it into 3 groups. So here's 1 group, here's 2 groups, and 3 groups. So I now have 3 equal groups. So now I can say that 1/3 of 24 is 2 by 4, which is 2 times 4 is 8. So 1/3 of 24 is equal to 8. I have 8 here, and 8 here. So I can say that my answer is 8 because I took my 24 and I divided it. Actually, I multiplied it by a fraction, right? I multiplied it by 1/3, which is the same thing as saying I divided it into 3 equal groups. So I then had 3 equal groups of 8 tiles. Because I started with 24. I had one whole group of 24. Okay, so in my next one, again, I'm going to start with my 24. In my next one, I'm going to, my problem is 2/3 of 24. 2/3 of 24. Which is the same thing as saying 2/3 times 24. Okay, so now I have, again, my 24, and I'm going to divide it up, or split it up into 3 equal groups. Why do I have my 3 equal groups? I have 3 equal groups because my number at the bottom, my denominator, is 3, meaning I need to divide it into 3 equal groups. 3 parts is the denominator. So now that I have my 3 equal groups, I need how many of those groups? I need 2 out of the 3. So if I look at just 2 out of the 3 groups, I have this group and this group, which is 8 and 8. I don't need this group. Okay, this group we don't need because we need 2/3. So we had 3/3, but now we have 2/3. So we have 8 and 8, which equals, you got it, 16. So now, again, I had my 24 tiles. I still had my 8, 8, and 8 tiles. And 8 tiles. I'm writing kind of crazy on these tiles. And I only needed 2 out of the 3 groups because I have a 2 here on my problem. So my answer would be 16. So 2/3 of 24 is 16. Okay, my next problem, I'm going to put my tiles back together. And my next problem is 1/4 of 24. 1/4 of 24. Same thing as 1/4 times 24. It means the same thing. So now how many groups do I need? I need 4 equal groups. And once I have 4 equal groups, I only need 1 of those 4. So, how am I going to put them in 4 equal groups? Well, I have 4 rows here, 4 columns, I should say. So if I separate those, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups. And I only need 1 of those 4. So if I take this very first group of 4, this very first group, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I can say that my answer is 6 because I have 24 and I split it up into 4 equal groups. And in those 4 equal groups, I had 6 tiles in each. Again, if you draw them, it would make much more sense to you, but I only need 1 of those 4 equal groups. And in one group, there was 6 tiles, so my answer is 6. Okay, in the next problem, I have 1/8. 1/8 of 24, or 1/8 times 24. Same thing, means the same. So let's put our groups, we don't really have to put them back together because we have them in fourths, right, or a quarter. And now we need to divide them up into 8 groups. We already have 4 groups, so we can just cut these groups in half. So if I cut these groups in half, now I will have 8 equal groups. And how many are in each group? There is 1, 2, 3 in this group, 3 in this group, 3 in this group, 3 in this group. So all of them have 3. So I have 8 equal groups of 3. So 1/8 of 24, I can say equals 3 because I had my 4, right? And then I took those 4 groups and I cut them in half. So now I have now I have 8 equal groups, and there was 3 tiles in each. Okay, all the way across. So there was 3. There, right? So I had 3 tiles in my 8 equal groups. My next problem here is 3/4 of 24. 3/4 of 24, or 3/4 times 24. Same thing. Okay, so if I have 3/4 of 24, or 3/4 times 24, I have to go back to my how many equal groups? 4 equal groups. So I'm just going to smash these back together. Smash them back together, and this one is kind of a straggler. There we go. Now we have 4 equal groups, and I need how many of them? I need 3 parts. So I have 4 equal groups and I need 3 of them. So if I take 1, 2, 3, how many do I have altogether? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 3. 6 by 3 is 18. I can count too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So my answer is 18. So I had my 4 equal groups, right, of 6. And I needed 3 of those groups. So there was 6 tiles in each to get me a total of 18. Okay, I do have another one that I would like you to try. Actually, I have 2 more. And the first one is 7/8 of 24, or 7/8 times 24. And the last one is 1/6 of 24, or 1/6 times 24. Go ahead and give those both a try. Write them down in your problem string and we will be sharing out those answers.